everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video I wanted to go ahead and do a book tag for you guys. And today's book tag is the Spring Has Sprung book tag. Now this tag was created by the Naughty Librarian, so I'll leave her original video linked down below for you guys to check it out if you like. As usual, I was not tagged to do this tag, but I thought it was the perfect timing because spring is here. I mean, it's been here for like a month now, and I live in Florida, so it's always either spring or summer. We have like one day of cold every year, but still, I love the season of spring. I just love it when all the flowers are blooming and everything just looks greener and prettier. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is flowers. Pick a book that's a fresh take on a retelling. So I actually decided to choose a whole series for this, and the series that I chose is the Ravenspire series by CJ Redwine. It is 4 books and they're all companion sequels to each other. Each individual book is based on a different retelling. So the first book, Shadow Queen, is a retelling of Snow White, and then we have The Wish Granter, which is a retelling for Rumpelstiltskin, and then the third book is The Traitor Prince, which is a retelling of The Prince and the Pauper, and then the fourth and final book, The Bloodspell, is a retelling of Cinderella. I have read all of these and I have enjoyed CJ Redwine's take on these beloved fairy tales because she takes a more of a darker theme to the fairy tales, and I absolutely enjoy them. These are all set in the same world of Ravenspire. They're following different characters, different storylines with each book. I would so highly recommend it, especially if you love a good retelling, because I feel that these were absolutely fantastic. Alright, and then the second question is the Cadbury Mini Eggs. Pick a book that you would consider to be a sweet treat. I decided to go ahead and go with Dumpling by Julie Murphy. I read this book a few months ago. It was one of my wrapped books, and I actually unwrapped this on the same month that the movie on Netflix came out, so it was the perfect timing because I read this before I watched the movie, and I absolutely adored it. This is about a fat girl whose mother is a former beauty pageant queen, and she decides to join the beauty pageant in order to show that not only really pretty, very skinny, tall girls can join a beauty pageant. And I really like the message of this book. Now, some people have disagreements on this book, so a lot of people say that the body positivity message on this book kind of fell flat, and in some ways I do agree, but I still enjoyed this book. I thought it was very cute, and I really liked our main character, so highly recommend it if you guys are looking for a nice, good contemporary. Alright, and then the third question is allergies. Pick a book that made you cry. Now, I know that this is the season for allergies. I know that my mom suffers so badly from the pollen, and I'm lucky where I don't have too bad of allergies. And so the book that I decided to go ahead and choose for this question is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I cannot think of any other book that made me cry as much as this book. It is very sad. It is about this boy that is haunted by a monster, but there is kind of like a message behind the monster, and it's beautiful. There's a movie, and I cried just as hard watching the movie, and I would so highly recommend this book to everyone. However, just be aware, it is a very sad story and it will make you cry. At least it made me cry really hard. Alright, and so the fourth question is spring cleaning. Pick a book to unhaul. So I'm actually doing an unhaul this spring, and so this book I read a few months ago and I did not like it, and it is First Life by Gina Showalter. So this book, it has such an interesting premise, and that's the reason why I originally bought this book in the first place. It is all about the afterlife. So we have our life here on earth, but your life here on earth doesn't really matter. It's about where you go in the afterlife, and there are 2 places where you can go, and these places are kind of like at war with each other because they want to recruit the best people to kind of choose to go to their afterlife. So our main character, she's being recruited by both sides because they really want her. She's a special snowflake. I don't quite remember what was so special about her, and she gets involved with one of the agents that is supposed to be recruiting her. And the reason why I dislike this book so much, I give it 2 stars, is because of the main character. She is so annoying. She is very dumb. She just doesn't make the best decisions, even though the better decision is like literally right in front of her face. And one thing that annoyed me about this book is that her love interest is a very good looking boy. it's a typical YA love interest. He's very good looking, and she gets distracted by how good looking he is. She could be in a dangerous situation, and she gets distracted by how good looking he is, and it just drives me nuts. Like, this girl has no brain cells. I couldn't deal with this main character. The premise was interesting, the world was interesting, but the main character just ruined this book for me. Alright, and so the next question is Spring Break. Pick a book involving a road trip. I feel like a lot of people would choose like a contemporary involving like a cute road trip going, but I decided to go not that route. So the book that I chose is Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson. This is set during the gold rush era, and it follows a main character who can sense gold, which is a great ability to have during the gold rush era. So this book primarily focuses on her journey towards California, and normally I don't like books that focuses too much on the journey from getting to one place to another. However, I thought this book was absolutely fantastic. It did really a good job focusing on the struggles that people came across during the gold rush era, like sickness and animals dying, not enough food, running out of water kind of thing. I actually enjoyed the main characters. I love the overall plot of the story, and so I would highly recommend this book. It was very, very good. Alright, and so the next question is mating season. Pick a book that has some smutty delights. So I know that a lot of people would choose probably Sarah J Maas for this question. However, I actually don't like Sarah J Maas sex scenes. I think they're very, very cringy. There are some words like Velvet Steel that I just can't get out of my head. Ever since I've read them in the Sarah J Maas book, it will haunt me for the rest of my life. So the book that I chose instead is a book that I actually recently finished reading, and it is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Now this book is more of a new adult book. I kind of like, when I first started reading, I was like, oh no, I hope this is not another Sarah J Maas moment, but I thought it was done well. I am thankful for Jay Kristoff for knowing how to write good sex. Alright, so the next question is rainbows. Pick a book featuring LGBT plus characters. So I have read some pretty good LGBT plus books in my life. I always say not enough, but one that sticks out to me is actually one of my favorite contemporaries of all time, and it is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I know a lot of people gravitate towards this book as one of their favorite LGBT plus books. However, it's just, as someone who doesn't read a lot of contemporary, this one really stuck out to me because it became one of my favorite books of all time. I really enjoyed the character. I thought Simon was such a relatable character. His awkwardness and everything reminds me of me. So I really enjoyed this book. I loved the plot line. I love everything about this book, and it's a great LGBT plus book, and I've seen the movie, and the movie was just as amazing. Alright, and then the 8th question is Spring Awakening. Pick a book that's also filled with completely dysfunctional characters. And so the book that I chose is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I love this series because of the characters. The characters I feel in this book really make this book. Again, for me, I love books that are really character driven instead of plot driven, and I feel like this book is that. The characters all have something about them that make them dysfunctional, but in a good way almost. So I really liked this book. It is about these 6 characters who go on this ultimate heist. You guys probably have heard about this book. It is very hyped up here on BookTube, and I would so highly recommend it because it is very, very, very good. Alright, and then the last and final question is In Like a Lion, Out Like a Lamb. Pick a book series that didn't get better as it progressed. To be honest, when I first read this question, the first book or book series that came to mind is a book series that I unhauled a long time ago, and I just remembered how bad this series progressed, and it is the Testing Trilogy by Joelle Charbonneau. This is a dystopian series. It kind of had like Divergent and Hunger Games elements to it. Unlike Divergent and unlike Hunger Games, it did not get better as it progressed. This is a book series that definitely aged like milk. It just got worse and worse as the series went. So The Testing, in case you guys don't know, it is set in dystopian world where kids from all over the country take this test, and whoever gets the highest grades gets to go to the testing. And there it's kind of like survival of the fittest, where they weed out the weakest links and they only keep the strongest players, and they go through this ultimate testing. It's like really like survival of the fittest kind of thing. The premise of the book sounds interesting, but again, the story just did not progress well. I just felt like the first book should have ended with the first book because the last two books were just completely unnecessary. And there you go, guys. That is The Spring Has Sprung, a book tag. Let me know down in the comments below what are any questions that you agreed with me, or let me know what your answers would have been for some of these questions, because I would really love to know. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you'd like to follow me on those platforms. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!